Hey guys, what's going on? It's your boy John from JT's Vending. I know I told you guys that last week I was going to show you my meal prep process for the week. And when I make these meals, they typically last 7, 8 days, 7 days at the most, depending on what we have going on during the week. If I'm working 5 days and my wife works 2, 3, depending on the week, sometimes 4. Then this week it's only 2 days this week. But if she typically works two days, maybe 3 days a week, and I try to make meal prep so that we won't have to worry about making lunch or buying lunch out or things like that. And a lot of people are starting to ask me, how long does it take to do this? It don't take long. It takes me roughly about an hour and a half, and a lot of that is prep, depending on what I'm doing. So this week we're doing Charlie, I'm doing a video. Stop yelling, okay? Hey, hey, what did I say? What did I say? Stop yelling so loud because I'm doing a video. When I get done, you can yell at the game, okay? I don't care if he beats you. You play again till you can beat him. My daughter, my 4-year-old, is playing Mario Party, the race part. Anyway, so this week we're doing salmon. We're doing salmon for meal preps, and this salmon came from Aldi's. We I'm shopping around for different places for salmon, but my next try is Sam's Club. Bigger salmon, and they have it like with no artificial dyes. And this one, it's no artificial dyes, and they typically look like this. So this is about how many pounds? It's about three. Oh, right here, 3.85 pounds of fish. That's what this salmon is. So meal preps for salmon, and I'm cutting them up into about 4 ounce pieces. And then we're doing 2 bags of 99 cent or 107, 2 bags of green beans, just warming them up. They don't need to be scalding hot, but just put two bags of those in a pot, let them boil. And for our second side, it will be basmati rice. If you're familiar with basmati rice, it's kind of like that Indian rice. Typically looks like regular white long grain rice, but it's a little different. Um, the It tastes better, and the prep side is a little different than regular rice. Typical white rice that's been bleached down, um, long grain rice. You can just put it in the water and boil it. This rice, basmati rice, you must, if you don't want it tasting like starchy, you must rinse it until the water runs clear. So I typically rinse it 3 to 4 times. This is 2.5, this 2 cups of rice. And I typically rinse it about 2 or 3 times. And then I let it soak for about 15 minutes before I even start cooking it. So I rinse about 3 or 4 times, and then I let it soak in the same pot of water. Don't cut the stove on, and then let it set a timer for 15 minutes. Once it's finished soaking, I rinse it one last time, and then I put the water in the pot just above the amount of rice that's in there, and then you put it on low for about 18 minutes, covered with a lid. And I typically put a little bit of oil or butter and salt in the water before everything starts cooking, just to give it that little extra flavor. So that's what I'm about to do now. But this process I'm doing, it takes, like I said, it's 15 minutes to let it soak. But guys, I do this, man, this whole process, and this is just one of our quicker meals. It'll take me maybe an hour to get all of this done and in my separate containers. While this is rinsing, I'll show you our meal prep containers. They come like this: green beans, rice, meat. or mashed potatoes, rice, or rice, mashed potato, whatever side I come up with. But they come like this. And there's a compartment. That main compartment is just where I put the meat. Sometimes I do chicken thighs, no, chicken legs that have marinated in pickle juice. And then I bake those in the oven and put those in there. Or sometimes we do some ribeye steak or some T-bone. And sitting out from the morning. We had ribeye steak and ribeye steak, eggs, or hash browns yesterday morning. But as you can see, it's still running. Still running kind of starchy. Look kind of water. Look kind of cloudy. I wish I could show you from all the way over there, but I'm my only cameraman. My wife is going through clothes with my son, and it's Sunday. There we go. Clear. Hold on. Water's coming out clear now. So I dump it from the strainer back into the pan. Then I just fill it up. Once you fill it up with water, the goal is just to let it soak for 15 minutes. You can put as much as you like. There we go. Bam. Now I set a timer for 15 minutes. So the longer you let this rice soak, the longer the grains grow. I mean, cook, and they expand. They come longer, and the more rice it turns out to be, and they're soft and it's freaking delicious. It's kind of like that Indian rice where you can grab, like we eat fufu with, grab with your hand and just eat it. It's freaking delicious. So that's what we're making for our week meal preps. And I got my wife wants honey chipotle, like a hot honey salmon. So that's what I'm gonna do. Got my spices, my paprika. No paprika, forgot. Paprika, chili pepper, some parsley flakes. Ground chili pepper, ground paprika. There we go. Ground paprika and some like a little honey garlic seasoning. So I'll make that up into like a little paste to rub. But these right here are what I use to sharpen my knives. And this is one of my my butcher knives that I use for my my steaks. When I fillet the cow, I typically use my butcher knives like this. I love using this one to chop. It makes me feel fancy, and it goes pretty quick, and they're extremely sharp, guys. I keep them sharp, and I keep them away from my children. Typically away from everyone else. So right now, let me put this up. Sorry for the kitchen. Like I said, we were doing a lot of things. I was going through helping the neighbors with their stuff and just getting a lot of stuff done on this Sunday. Just trying to make sure that I'm being good steward of my time, not only my money but also my time, and doing the thing God has called me to do. And a lot of it is just prepping, because I learned a long time ago that if you fail to prepare, you're preparing to fail. If you don't understand that you need to be putting things together, and make sure you clean your counters off too. Delicious. My counter's already cleaned off. Just gonna rinse my salmon off for a second. Now I got to take the skin off simply because my wife does not like the skin. If it was up to me, I would eat the skin on salmon. But my wife doesn't like the skin on. My wife said the skin is lame, so I have to take the skin off And I had to rinse the container out and put it outside because it'll have the house smelling like fish. So my little fish scaler. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go ahead and take some of the scales and things off. And I normally don't. You don't have to do this, but I'm doing it because on my part of the fish, the nutrients and the omega-3s are in the skin. And when I lived in Florida, like other than descaling, like taking the scales off the fish, I didn't cut the skin off. I ate the skin and everything else. But I try to be a good husband. My wife doesn't like or wants to eat certain things. I try not to make it for the meal prep. But when it's up to me to make mine, I leave the skin on. And I did a lot of fishing in Florida, so I love like descaling just to clean the fish and cutting it and just getting it all prettied up to be cooked and fried. But this time we're pan searing. We're gonna put this on a griddle, and as it's cooking, I'm going to I want to put the in there, put the stuff on there. Making sure we have no bones. All right. Yeah, it's the temperature dropping too, Mom. The said we're gonna drop. It's a storm coming, guys. You guys, please be safe. It's supposed to be a storm, bad storm coming through. Supposed to be a lot of tornadoes. So please be safe. Let me get the rest of these scales off. Like I said, guys, to me, all of the vitamins are in the skin. So I typically eat my skin on, but what I'm going to do is make sure the scales and everything are off. And my wife's side will have scale with no skin. So that's what I'm doing now. But yeah, I'm using this griddle right here. Just using this, I'm gonna put them in 4-ounce pieces, put them on here, put some little oil on there, and cook them up. And then my sides, my green beans, they're already warming up. And then my rice is soaking. Got about 9 minutes left on that rice to soak. And other than that, guys, I think that'll be it. It'll take me another scale. Take me another few minutes to get it weighed up. Scale. I got my cooking scale. I keep a cooking scale in the house just to hear up and weigh things in ounces. Oh, but like I said, this process, it saves us thousands of dollars a month on um, on eating out. We're a family of 4, and we typically we can eat out. Oh, probably should reset that. Zeroed out. Thank you. All right. So that's We're just cutting them in 4-ounce pieces. Bam. So apparently I'm cutting them in 5-ounce pieces. But that's fine. Um, it's based on how you guys eat and what you guys like. Yeah, I'm cutting everything in 5-ounce pieces. So typically my 5-ounce pieces are about as wide as my 2 fingers, and I just go ahead and cut them. And so it's easier for me to plan out my meal prep. So if I'm doing 5, my wife doing 2 days a week, or sometimes 3 or 4. But she told me she's doing 3 this week. So my 5 plus her 3 is 8. 3, 6, 7, 8, plus a little partial. And for us in Bartlett schools, it is spring break. So that's so my son will be on spring break. He'll be at home while we getting everything together here. Let me do my fillet knife. Here we go. This is my fillet knife. This is what I can scale fish and do all of that with this fillet knife, but I just like it because it's extremely sharp, and it slices and dices. But I can get the skin off the fish without having so much trouble with this knife. The other ones are just they're bulky, but they're big for cutting like whole beef. But this one I can just grab the salmon by the tail, the corner, press down, and bring it as I pull it over to the corner, kind of cut and fillet as I go. And that'll help me, if I can lock my hands onto it, that'll help me remove the skin and fillet it as I drag it along the counter. And then voila, all the meat, all the skin is off. And what I hadn't done in a while was I normally take the skin off the scales, put it in the oven, and then like bake it for a few minutes, and then give it to my dog. Our dog actually loves salmon, so I typically give it to him. So I'm not gonna cut everything off of all the fish. I'm gonna only do my wife's fish like that. But the ones I'm gonna keep whole. And Mama, go do your clothes. And yeah, like I said, I'm only doing these, taking the skin off for my wife because she don't like it. But I'm gonna just give the skin. How many days you working? 3. All right. So the rest of these are mine. So what I do? What is it? You need to get somebody to kitchen. All right. So guys, I'm just finna get ready and cut the griddle on to get ready and start cooking my salmon. Salmon don't take much to cook, and plus, when you're doing meal preps, salmon you don't have to cook all the way. You can cook it about 85% of the way, because when you nuke it in the microwave during the week, it's going to cook it the rest of the way. And you don't want that salmon to be hard and tough, because it'll get rubbery if you cook it. So if you cook it all the way, and then you try to you put it in the microwave to get it prepped and ready, it'll get hard and like a weird taste to it when you try to clean it up. I mean, when you try to warm it up in the microwave at work or even at home, it'll get real weird. So these are mine. This is this extra skin. I'm just gonna sit this to the side. I'm gonna give that to my dog when I go outside. But mine, I'm gonna keep the scale and skin on. One, because I like it. So, all right, what we got to do now is put a little grease. I love this thing off TikTok. I bought this little sprayer, and it keeps me from buying a bunch of spray bottles. So you can either pop this and it pours, or you can just pull this little trigger and it sprays. Either one is fine. It don't really matter. What? Okay. It sounded like she said, I think she said, you should have got off the game. What she try to make up? Oh, what she did. She did say her stomach was hurting. Yeah. Oh yeah, with no other food. When I saw that, I was like, it may not have been that. And so now we're just throwing everything on the grill to get it where we need it. That's our timer for our rice. Let me get myself hands cleaned up. And me, I like to go back and get get my counter space kind of like wiped down while the fish and stuff is cooking, because you're gonna have a slight fishy smell. It's not bad, but my wife doesn't like it. It don't bother me. So just getting the counter wiped down. And just getting everything situated. I wish I can give you guys if I can come in right here. It's a better view on the salmon. So I just got the salmon cooking at about a 225. While the salmon is cooking, just throw my little seasoning on there. So it's gonna, like I said, I'm gonna get a little sauce cup and make some sauce for it. What, Mom? Done with the fillet knives. Get my counter cleaned up. And, you know, my wife, again, she can't stand that fishy smell. I know she can't stand it. So I'm just trying to clean the counter up real quick. And I'm gonna give that, I descaled everything, got my stuff situated. And like I said, guys, this process normally, on average, I started like 4:35. It's 4:53 now. It don't this stuff don't take long. But what a lot of people say is, "Oh, I ain't got time to meal prep." But yet on Sunday you sit around, play the game on your phone, looking up funny memes when you could simply just be putting in some time, making sure you're not wasting your money during the week. You spend hours on your phone each day, um, but then you say, "Well, I don't have time." You have you have time. People have time. People make time for what they want to make time for. But what it comes down to is you don't have the discipline or the self control to do hard things. That's what it boils down to. And a lot of times, oh, sorry, I got the camera off me. I'm getting my rice and rinsing it one last time. Sorry about the footage. I don't have a cameraman. Um, and my wife is walking around doing stuff. It's pointed at the fish. That's why I said sorry about the image. So they can't see me, but they hear me talking. So, all right. Salmon cooking. Um, my rice. I got my rice set up. I got my basmati rice right here. Um, so I typically, the way you cook this rice, you put it on high and you add salt to your taste, salt, butter or oil, whichever one you choose. A lot of times I just do a little bit of both. It's not gonna hurt. It's up to your liking. So I just put a touch of butter. And store it in there. And then I do kosher salt, the same salt I use on my steaks. You don't have to put that much. Like I said, it's to your liking. And I typically put a dash of oil, and I just stir that up. It don't have to be perfect. You just stirring it in there. I got enough water just to barely cover the rice. And now this is how they tell you to do it on the package. This is how it has worked out and been delicious for us. So this is how we always make it. I make it no other way than this. And if you want to, sometimes we add like can of cream of mushroom. My wife said the best. We add 1 can of cream of mushroom after everything is done. You stir that 1 can. There we go. I was trying to make sure the water was like nice and even over everything. And you have to stir it until it starts boiling. And then when it starts boiling, you turn it down to low and then put the lid on and let it simmer for 18 minutes. I advise you to set a timer because when you go outside of that 18 minutes, after it starts boiling and you put your lid, it's rather disgusting. So that's our process. That's my process with our rice and green beans. The green beans obviously are done. They just need to be warmed up. And that's typically all I do with the green beans. I drain them, maybe put in a few onion and some garlic salt, and I'm typically done. So what you see right now, hold on. So what you see right now is my basic process with my salmon, getting everything weighed out, getting all our meal preps together. And then once everything is done, It's divided up into these containers, and voila, we are done with meal preps for the week. And that's typically it, guys. Like it's not a complicated process. It's just you have to be patient and willing to do hard things, because it's easy for us to just go eat out. It'll be extremely easy for us to just buy lunch at work or go get some food. It's easy to do that. But what's hard is sticking to a budget, knowing that we have vacation plans, we have a lot of things for the family plan. We're making short-term sacrifices for long-term gain. Meaning, we're not just eating up our money out. We're going, okay, let's be intentional about what we want to do on vacation. When we go on vacation, we want to ball out. We want to have fun and do a lot of stuff that we typically don't do during the week or while we're at home. So in the process, in order to do that, we have to be disciplined. We have to tell ourselves every day, let's not, how about let's not buy this right now. Let's wait. Let's get the kids what they need. I should have put some more. Uh-oh. Mine's causing a problem. I didn't put enough grease. Yep, I didn't put enough grease. Because I typically cut the skin off all the salmon. This time I didn't, and I left it on mine. And I put some grease, but not enough. And just add it to it like this. I thought I put enough grease. So I didn't add enough grease. So as you can tell, my salmon is ripping apart. Let's see if I can fillet it off. But like I said, this is a simple meal prep process. It's not overly complicated. It's something that I enjoy doing because one, it saves money. Two, it helps my family. And that's what God calls us to do: be a good steward of our resources. God don't want us to just get something and just ball out like we did all the work to gain everything. God blessed us with the ability to get out there and make money and take care of our families. The least we can do is be a good steward of his resources and try to manage it to the best of our abilities. Not saying we're not all gonna mess up, but just understanding that ultimately everything belongs to God. It's him who gives us this strength to do the stuff that we can do. So just trying to remain humble in what we're doing each and every day is a big part of being a good steward. It's a big part of being not just a good person, but just being a better person all around. You can blame it on the economy, you can blame it on the news, you can blame it on other people, but ultimately, you got to answer for how you treat others and how you behave. So, I love you guys. I hope this was a simple and clear process of my honey chipotle salmon with my basmati rice and my green beans for my meal prep for lunch for me and my wife. So I hope you guys have a blessed day. I'm going to give this a good stir. And once it start bubbling, you just cut it off, put the lid on, and everything cope steady for 18 minutes. And then everything will be ready to put in the meal prep containers, and I'll be done. Took me it'll take, by the time this done in another 20 minutes, it took me an hour and maybe 25 minutes. If that, most of it because I was just talking. But, oh, there we go, bubble. All right, guys. Hope you have a blessed day. I love you. Be safe. Au revoir. A bientôt. À la prochaine.